Hey Stampers, Gaynor again, and I'm coming back with I'm going to be showing you how I made the card I said I promised I would make with the deckled circles. I've cut my bases out and my DSP, but I had to make myself a designer envelope as well. But I don't have 12 by 12 or 9.5 by 9.5 inch photocopy paper, because that's all these envelopes are made out of, maybe slightly thicker. But I'll show you what I did. I've got these A4 size envelopes that are cut. You can fit an A4 size card in, so I know this is slightly wider, but that's half a sheet. So can you imagine an A4 folded in half? You would fit that in your envelope. So let me see if I've got one to size. So A4 cut in half, if it was turned into a card, would fit inside your envelope. Well, I don't have any 6 by 6 envelopes, so I'm going to show you how I turned that one with a little bit of designer series paper into my 6 by 6 envelope. And there's the card I made. It's all shiny and beautiful. I've used the deckled rectangles. I've used some beautiful silver, and then because you can see a full circle, it's scored on the back, not at the front, and then your card sits up beautiful on your desk. I mean, you could even add a little hole in the top there and hang it off a tree even, and make it into a giant bauble. But it's a Christmas card made from the deckled circles. I did say I was going to make one, so I made this one using the Night Divine. I love the Lord is my shepherd. This is just made out of normal white cardstock. Obviously we've got glitter, we've got white. I used some of the Merry Christmas and stars. I'm going to change up the colours. I did green, red and black. I'm going to be changing them to smoky slate and crushed curry. So the black stands out and the yellow sparkles like the stars. I mean, maybe if I use gold instead of silver, that would work as well. But I just think it's lovely. It doesn't matter how you stand it. It will stand up normally. Like I'm saying, you could add pop a hole through there and it'll still stand up and look like a Christmas bauble as well. So it's entirely up to you. And like I say, a self-made envelope. We've still got the gummed area at the top. It's got a few creases, but I don't mind that, because I will put that in my envelope and close it up. And I've still got, like I'm saying, the gummed area. And when you turn it over, I added a little piece, because I've got a crease across the top at the front. I added a strip of designer series paper. You could also add this strip of designer series paper to hide those creases on the back as well. So it just gives a bit of decoration to your envelope. And it's just using an old one, so I'm going to keep them to one. I'll show you how to make the envelope at the end. So let me just pop those together. You will use your envelope punch board. I don't know why they just fell out of my box. Mad what you find on your desk, isn't it? So like I say, I've already cut this. It comes from one sheet of A4, and you do get 2 little strips left off afterwards. So I mean, I've got a piece for my decoration. Oh, my head's going, look. Right, let's get it out then. So I've got these 2 pieces that came off the same card, because I basically just cut the card in half, or just fold it in half and then cut them 2 out exactly the same at the same time. So you could actually keep them together, you know, if you want to try and match up those little markings, but it doesn't matter. But then I used a little strip of this to do my sentiment. So we're going to do some white embossing. I do have a piece left here. That is plenty big enough for my perfect. So I'm going to stamp, I'm going to heat emboss, and I'm also going to cut this out. And I've got a piece of my silver which fits my beautiful barn. opening. So the centerpiece will also kind of cut one of these out as well, because I cut it in half and just edged it top and bottom just to give it, and then I went over after I'd heat embossed and just sparkled up the front with some Wink Stella. It's just all shining, and so I can run those through right now on my large machine. I could love to show it in front of you, but it's too heavy for me. So I'll run it through and I'll show you how it cut out. Bear with me, ladies. And I'm going to go, you can actually see the wood graining in the silver glitter card. It's not the best. But, I mean, you can keep this piece. There's my little barn. You can keep this piece. Maybe cut some little stars out of there. Maybe use strips down around another sentiment. So I'll keep that in my little scraps bin. This is the piece that I'm going to cut my sentiment out of. So it also cuts a little piece out for, and then you've got this then for extra little, you can cut a couple more out of there. Well, you get another one definite, and then use these ends to go around another sentiment. So again, this is from my other barn, this one, so I'm going to keep those. So that's the deckled triangles, and we're all using deckled items. I could have gone one bigger, but it wouldn't have fit in my barn space without covering it all up, so I just like I cut it in half. So we're using deckled triangles, deckled circles. Like I say, I've got my two pieces. I did exactly the same with the front here. I went down a size on the circle, and I actually cut two out at the same time again to save time and save running it through. So I've actually got my designer series piece. We will need this now for some white cardstock. Let me put my card back with its envelope. I am gonna, oh look at that, get some, you can use, I'm using, still got a whole packet of the Whisper White, so, and I'm going to cut this in half. And you get loads of this off there afterwards. So I'm going to cut my other shape out, which is going to go on the inside of the card as well. So give me a second. And my plate, I wondered where my plate was. Oh, there we go. So there is my inner circle, which is the same size as my designer series paper. So I do have a scrap piece which cut my last one out, and there's no point me actually going and cutting this down when I can use this on something else. I can also cut that out and that out for a sentiment on another card. So all I'm going to do, I mean, you could even, let me just cut this at 2.5. So I've got a piece for other projects. You could even use this on a 6x6 card. Not this shape, obviously a square 6x6 or a 6.5 by 6.5, and then use this outline and then do some stamping and white embossing in the front. So don't even throw these pieces away if you don't want to. So I'm going to put that somewhere to do a bigger card at a later date. So we've got my card pieces, my designer series paper, my inside piece. We will be doing a little bit of trimming. Do you know what? I've just scrubbed my plates and I'm still getting marks on them. Let's do my head in. So we've got our pieces. We've got our little, I'll see if I can hold it up. It won't be a very long card, but it's a beautiful card. Let me grab that. Put that in my Night Divine case. So if you can, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. on there I can see the wood grain just about. Yeah, you can just about see it, but to me, as you're looking at it, you can see it. So I've got my little diamond shapes. You can keep these for little shaker cards to put inside a little shaker. Cut them in half, cut them in half again. I mean, why would you get rid of these beautiful little glittery pieces? There's another one somewhere. Oh, there we go. It's still stuck in my barn. But don't even throw these little bits away. They'll go in. Where's it gone? Where's it? There it is. These will go in little shaker cards. You could even score that, fold that over, glue that together, and you've still got that nice little shape, but you're going to see the sparkle on both sides. And you could do the same with the bigger ones as well, or just glue. Oh, there we go. If you want to make a star, just glue those two pieces together and you've got a little 6-pointed star. So don't even let these little panels go to waste as well. I'm going to pop them over there out the way. And like I'm saying, I've got two little triangles which I would normally throw in the bin. Just layer them up and you've got yourself a little star shape there. Let me put it on my hand. Glue them together and you've got a gorgeous little star, and they're perfectly cut to shape. So we've got that. Now I'm going to fetch in my little embossing buddy. Just going to give this a good wiping over because, and I've got, my box is split, so I've got to be really careful how I open this. I need a new container. I could do with one where the lid comes off easy. See, I've got a split inside of my, see it there? You can see my finger poking through, so I've got to be careful, otherwise it ends up on the floor. I have got my Versamark and I've got The Lord Is My Shepherd. I love this. Making sure that's really, really juicy. And then I'm gonna stamp it pretty much in the middle because I am gonna use my little die cutting machine to cut this out. You don't even have to clean the VersaFine off your stamp set. It conditions the rubber, so leave it on, and when you come to stamp something else, it will actually help your ink stick to your rubber stamp. So don't waste your time trying to rub it off. Oh, look at that, perfectly, no little stragglers and nothing. So I haven't eaten Boss for ages, and then all of a sudden I'm doing quite a bit of it. So do apologise about the sound of my little tool. I'm just waiting for it to get really hot. This gets hot really quickly, so I'm just going to warm the back. Just helps stop my card from warping. And it's done already. That's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to fetch in my smaller machine, the one you can see. Let's pop these to one side, and we're going to cut out our nativity scene as well. And this is just you want thicker cardstock, you can. I am basically just using Whisper White because I'm gluing it down. If I was using this as a 3D image, I would use thicker white cardstock. All there and back, make sure. Cute little image, and I can cut that off there and there, and I've still got space to write a sentiment on those. So where's my, I put it away, haven't I? I put it away. I put my little Deckled triangle away and I need it. What am I like? So on, and I'm just gonna I like this little pink mat. It's not the best little pink mat in the world, but it's magnetic and it will hold my wee die in place while I just run it through my machine. Beautiful. So I am going to cut this in half. I might even just do a little bit over that bit and a little bit over that bit. I'll show you that in a minute. So we'll have a gap at the bottom and the top. But I might just do the same again and then edge a little bit down the bottom. So now I can put my little triangles away. Put my little machine away. I haven't tried running that under the tap because they're supposed to be magic match, but mine's coming apart. So, and like to say, for £5, where I had £5 hard, nearly £6 off the internet. I mean, you live and learn. I might just order an authentic one next time. Again, I can use that for sentiments. Get my little pokey tool, poke out the bits I don't need, and then push out this delicate. I love this scene. And I thought the sentiment was beautifully appropriate. The Lord is my shepherd, for this gorgeous card. Now wet your finger and you can pick up little bits without having to faff around. Because mine is quite a rough surface and it doesn't want to stick all the time. So I'm just going to chop this in half. And this is exactly 1 inch. Let me show you on my... It's exactly 1 inch. So I take it to the edge, which gives me ½ inch. And it don't have to be mega precise. Unless you want to do, well, like I said, you could add one there. So it's not fully all the way to the end there. And then add the other one to there. Just so you've got a little separation. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I've got those pieces. I'm going to take my Wink Stella and I'm literally just going over. I couldn't have done that with ink, it would have smeared it. And because it's heat embossed, I get that mega glitter all the way over. Just give that another squeeze. I've got 2 new ones, but there's still quite a little bit of juice in this. Perfect, and that is really, really sparkly. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm not adding anything to this section. I'm going to glue those on later. So now I'm going to fetch my scoreboard in. I'm just going to use my little one. So the card itself measures roughly 5 3/4. So I'm going to score this at 4 3/4 and just give myself a 1 inch turning point. So that's the section that we will glue. I mean, you can turn it so it's, but I'm going to have it so it's nice on the inside. So you're only going to glue this section down. I'm going to do the same on this one. So this one measures 5 3/8. So I'm going to do this at, I'm going to do 4 3/8 because we haven't stamped on that yet. Now we know where to keep it nice and straight. But I'm also, now I've got my line, instead of me trying to cut a perfect straight line with a circle, I am just going to line that up and take that off. I mean, again, you can use this for a sentiment if you want to. So, and you take your back card now. This is going to line up just perfectly and give you that depth. You can pull this down a little bit if you want to, so you've got the perfect border all the way around. So I've got my little star. This came from the Stars at Night, this one, the Merry Christmas, and this cluster of stars. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. The grey first. I'm going to use my smoky slate. That way I know that my sentiment is going to stick out better than it did on my green. So I'm not going to glue this down just in case I make a boo-boo, but I've got little off my plates. Right, so ink, smoky slate, and I'm just gonna pop this roughly in the center. Oh, absolutely beautiful. So that's the smoky slate. Get my cleaning cloth. And what I might do, because I cut those little shapes out, I might add that little star in the center and glue them together. Maybe pop it up somewhere so I'm not wasting nothing. Now I've got my cluster. This is crushed curry, and I do have a piece of scrap. I did it full strength on the other one, but I might just check. I actually quite like it stamped off, so oh, that's so cute. And here as well, I'm going to stamp. Perfect. I keep putting my cloth away, don't I? I should keep it out until I finished. And then I've got my Merry Christmas, which I am going to stamp in Night of Navy. And I'm just aiming for the center. I've got a line running across my block, so I'm going to go for that line that's running across those stars. Sorry about the head. And I'm just going to press that down in the center. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I need to clean them straight away because I got a little bit of bleach on my cloth, so it's taking away from the red. So that's why I get a cloth out pretty much straight away. Click all my things back into place. So I'll lift that up so you can see. So the center line of this thing, I center lined my block and it just stamped that beautifully in the center. So now we can, there's my tape runner. I'm going to use tape runner. I don't know why. I think it's a little bit soggy for glue. I just want to make sure and follow this circle. How does it stick? Do you know what? You start rolling and you get this sticky patch up here, and it really is a lot sticky. Let's take my thumb and get that off. So I'm just going to leave that out. Now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to make sure I've got it even all the way around and nice and central. Oh no, it's I've got a tiny wee bit over, but now I'm going to add my tape runner just along here. I'm going to make sure I've got my, because you've got a dimple on one side and this is plain, so this is going to go on the inside of my card. So I'm going to stand my cards. I'm not fixing that pattern in any way, and then I'm just making sure they glue together. So now this is the front of my card and it opens just like so, and it stands up perfect. The only thing now is I'm going to get myself a little pencil because I want to make sure that my is here. So when I pull this down, I know that is the center of the card, top and bottom. So when I put my designer series paper on, I don't put it on at a skew way for my stars are at shape. So now I can add, and then I can rub that out afterwards. So I think my father-in-law would like this. I did keep saying I'm going to send this one, send that one. So let me just check I got my sentiment just right. And that is all nicely lined up. And I can check as I open. There it is. There's the center of my card, and my little stars are in the right place. So I can erase my little pencil marks. Perfect. Here. So I'm gonna, whoops, I'm dropping everything. Let me fetch my other card up. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So I only added dimensionals to the sentiment. I may add, I don't know whether to glue it back down or add dimensionals. So my stars are perfect. Should I add this on dimensionals, or should I just glue it down again? I think I may just glue it down. Yeah, definitely. So this time I'm going to use my glue. Make sure it's got its little flow going. There we go. I think glue's a little bit more forgiving when you're trying to line it up as well. Whoops. Oh, that was a close call. A bit of squirt there. I keep checking, even though I've lined my stars up. So I am having my little peak at the top. And you know, if you get any glue on top of your silver paper, use your Wink Stella. It will take off that dull shine of the glue, and it just adds to the sparkle. So again, there's my battery. I don't know why, because it was saying it was full. Bear with me, ladies, while I swap over. There we go. That's nuts, because there was only one bar missing. It was literally had 3.5 bars and only one bar down, because it holds 4 or 5 bars. But it went quicker than I thought. So again, I'm adding my nativity scene. Again, you could have added this on dimensionals, but and I'm just literally gluing this. And I'm not going to go nuts. I'm just going to gently rub until that glue takes hold. I love the white. I haven't done a black silhouette one yet, but isn't that pretty? And then I'm just going to glue the end of my sentiment, and I'm looking for the deckled edge and keeping the straight edge, making sure I've got it pretty level either side. And again, I'm just gonna keep my deckled set on the outside and lift that up. You've got plenty of time to lift if you put plenty of glue on. Perfect. I'm gonna, oh, I pulled the top off that one. I pulled the back off, it's stuck to the other one. It's only floating in the center of my card, so I love that. I love this. And then you could have it up higher and you could have it up the top of the shelter, but I just think that this fits in there. Oh, that looks, it seems a little bit lower. Ah, my sentiment. Look, because I added my people down level with the bottom of the bar, and I've lifted these ones up, so I'm just going to lift that a little bit higher, but no different really when you think about it. There's a little bit more of a gap, that one and that one. Beautiful. So here's that little star. I'm just going to add a lot of glue and cross them over to make the little Star of David. Just going to let that set up for a minute. Whoops. Do you think we'll add that with a dimensional? Oh, I think that's going to be a little bit too big, that size. I might just add it in. I mean, I could add it there. Do you think that looks nice? Yeah, I think I'll add that there. And I'll come up as high as I can. Just got my little centerpiece. It's still a bit loose. There we go. So I've got my little star added on. I mean, you can take your time and while it's still damp, and give it a swivel round. So this is the first one in my makeshift envelope, which I'm going to show you how to make now. Cute. Let me just pop the lid on my glue. I was just trying to think, did I add any? I didn't add any embellishments on this. Oh, maybe. Oh, look at that. It just, look, it sits on your desk. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So you got the grey and the yellow. This one's got the red and the green. I just think they're absolutely adorable. And let's pop that out of the way. I don't know if I'm going to add embellishments. Maybe some of these small white ones will go on there, but it might be a bit over the top, so let's have a quick nose. Let's just see. I think that's going to be a little bit too much, so I'm going to leave that plain. Actually, I'm definitely going to leave that plain. I just think it's absolutely stunning. What a beautiful, beautiful card. So, right, let's move on to our envelope. So I've already got this one and this one. Oh, excuse me, I can't lift it up. There we go. So we've got our envelope for this card. We're going to make one for this card. Don't worry about this, it's an old envelope, so I haven't really burnished it a lot, but fingers crossed I don't break this one. I'm just going to open the score line. I'm just going to try and smooth it out a little bit. And then I'm going to try my best just to gently. These are, don't worry, these sections we're going to be using again. So, because I've got a load of these envelopes. And it's starting to rip, so I've got to be a little bit more careful. But fingers crossed, this is the section we're going to cut off. Gaynor's made a right boo-boo with this one, but I'm not worried because this, let me open this out. We're going to cut this section off. So I need this piece now in my hand to measure 9.5 by 9.5. So I'm keeping the gum side, so I want to make sure that this envelope, which is damaged, which we're not bothered about, is now at 9.5. And we're going to take all that piece that we knackered up out, and then I'm going to spin this to the bottom, and we're going to do 9.5 again. And we're going to remove this section. So we're just cutting down the envelope, and now we're going to re-score and mark this. So I'm going in, this is the gum side that I want, and I'm putting this in at 4 3/4. Don't worry that it's already got marked, don't worry about that. And I'm going to score, and then I'm going to come round to that new score line, press and score, and I'm just going to follow it round as if I was using a normal piece of paper, because I don't have photocopy paper that size, and my other white card is way too thick for an envelope. And now I've got, this is going to be the new top section of my envelope because it's got the gum on it. I'll get rid of that. So this is the top half of my envelope, and I'm just going to burnish my new score line. I'm not worried about the gum on here. So now these are my new side lines, and I'm just rubbing out, even though you won't see this, the other section. Score this, taking out those score lines, and then this is, I've got a tiny little bit of fraying from off my, and I'm just going to nip that up the side. Nobody's going to see that. And then this folds up, and I'm just going to remove those crease lines and score lines. And I've now made myself a new envelope for my new card. So if you've got large envelopes, trim them down to the size you want and repurpose your old envelopes. So let me get my tape runner again, and I'm just going to tap the tiniest little blob on the end here, and that will keep those two pieces of the envelope secure. And then I'm going to come up just a touch, and I'm only coming about halfway, and I don't mind going over the edge a little bit because it's just going to tuck up. I'm just going to fold that perfectly. Give this a wee burnish. I mean, I've got a little score line here and down the sides, but once your envelope is in, and now I decide whether I want to add a piece of designer series paper on the back to hide those score lines, or I've got that one on the front there, which doesn't really bother me. Excuse me, ladies. I've got an itchy nose. So, I mean, you could add a strip on the front and on the back. Nice sized envelope. Pop, and I've still got the gummed area, so I can close the envelope after, and I haven't had to use any more paper. There is our new sized envelope. I don't know whether to add it on the front again. My paper, well, it seems a little bit not wide enough this time, but it will fit on the bottom there, so I'm going to lift that up to hide that score line this time, just on the back of the envelope. And what I might do is remove the card, and I'm going to come up just a wee bit to hide it, making sure I've got it straight, Gaynor. That's better. So I've added a little bit of decoration on the back. Just going to move this out. I'm going to fetch in my grey again. Oh, and I can open it. Oh, there we go. And I'm just, this side would be the stamp. So I'm just going to add that beautiful star here and here just to disguise the front. That is too cute. Click that into place. Grab my cloth. Oh, that's so pretty. And then with my yellow again, may add it full strength this time. I'm going to grasp my little star. I've got my paper. I think I'll stamp off again. And this time I'll just add them in the top corner, just as a little accent to decorate the front of our new size envelope. Crack that into the place. And then there is our new little envelope with some designer series paper on the front and on the back, a nice little shape. Here's my deckled circles. Makes a beautiful sized card. Absolutely stunning and so easy to make. When you're cutting your card out, you could even fold your card in half and leave a little gap at the top, but I think it looks a little bit flimsy. This way you've got the whole circle of the card. You've only got one crease on the back and your card stands up beautiful. Obviously not on its envelope, but it stands beautiful. And like I say, punch a hole, add a little ribbon dangling down and make it look like a Christmas bauble, and maybe even if you've got a massive tree, hang it from the tree. Absolutely beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed. I said I would come back and make one. So my first card and my first envelope. My second card with the star, self-made star, which comes from these sections, and another self-made envelope, all nicely decorated. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed. Love, and I will see you on the next video. All glory to our great Lord and Saviour who gives us these wonderful talents. And you know, I don't concentrate too much on all my hobbies, but this one I enjoy sharing with you lovely ladies. It's nothing aggressive, it's just absolutely beautiful and peaceful. And if we make beautiful cards, absolutely stunning. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed. Like I'm saying, use these sections to make yourself little stars. You could have even made a little triangle one. You could glue those two together and you could have a little that shape one, so you can have a little long diamond shaped star. So don't get rid of them. I know they're a bit, most people just throw them in the bin, but I folded that one, so don't forget. But glue them close together and you got another little diamond shape. So there we have it. Love and leave you till next time. Take care and God bless. Bye.